Hey everyone, James Baek here. It's time for some more VGC Baek Battles, welcoming you back to another episode of our VGC series, where we go on the doubles battle spot ladder, and we are going to try to pick up some wins with our team of Mega Gardevoir, Scrafty, Rotom Wash, Amoonguss, Heatran, and Landorus Varian. This team has proved pretty good so far, I think. I think it's only had, I don't know how many losses it has. I remember at least 2, but that might have been off camera, so that those probably won't count. And remember, we're going to find 2 battles, and hopefully we can win. Maybe 3 if it's short, like yesterday's episode. Okay, Human Boy from the United States with a 1745 rating will be kicking off today with a team of Terrakion, Kangaskhan, Thundurus, Milotic, Volcarona, and Breloom. Pretty standard Pokemon all around. I guess Breloom is popular in the seniors division, where it's actually quite common, unlike Masters. And Volcarona, interesting. We'll see what kind of combos this guy can pull off. Volcarona kind of looks like it would be the Rage Powder set, but it could be Quiver Dance as well. How do I want to handle this, since Volcarona could be a threat paired up with the Milotic? Actually, that would be a perfect lead for my opponent. How do I want to handle this? Scrafty looks like it will do pretty good against my opponent's team. I can Super Fang the Milotic. I have just so many options. Amoonguss could do well as well. Heatran has some decent options, but I'm leaning towards Landorus. I think I'll lead Gardevoir and Rotom Wash. I'm expecting a Milotic lead. I really am expecting a Milotic lead. Have Landorus and Scrafty in the back. Having the double Intimidate in the back, so I have to knock out Milotic ASAP. Otherwise, Milotic's going to be at +4 probably, and that is not going to be fun. Milotic Breloom is probably the lead I'm most scared of, or Volcarona Breloom would be really scary. He leads Kangaskhan and Thundurus, which I am more than happy to see right now, against my Gardevoir and my Rotom Wash. Usually here, I think you taunt and fake out, but you could do either, to be honest. You can fake out Gardevoir, go for the taunt onto Rotom, or you could fake out Rotom Wash and taunt the Gardevoir expecting a Trick Room. Alright, this is kind of tough. I think I'm going to withdraw Gardevoir into Scrafty, get some Intimidate pressure happening. I think I'll Thunder Wave the Kangaskhan, even though I think he's going to fake out the Rotom Wash. Getting this Intimidate will be huge. I have fake out pressure next turn, but he'll probably switch out the Kangaskhan into Volcarona, I would say, just to absorb a fake out, and the chance of a burn is real. It's going to Mega Evolve Kangaskhan, so let's see. Maybe he doesn't have Fake Out, maybe he has like Double Edge, Protect, Power Punch, Sucker Punch, Low Kick, all those good options. Fake Out's actually going to come through onto the Rotom Wash. Sort of unfortunate, but I'm going to guess we're going to see a taunt from the Thundurus into the Scrafty. There we go, so I could have got a free Hyper Voice off, but I wasn't willing to take the Fake Out damage from the Kangaskhan onto Gardevoir. So I'm alright with this. This Kangaskhan's at -1, I think it'll have to retreat. So I think I'm going to knock off the Thundurus, and I'm thinking I'm going to go for that Hydro Pump into the Kangaskhan, expecting that switch into Volcarona. He's going to withdraw his Kangaskhan if it's Volcarona. Yes, it's Volcarona. Predictions are happening, people. Predictions are happening. That's a nasty plot, Thundurus. Oh my lord. But here we go. Hydro Pump into the Volcarona. Going to do some decent damage. Pick up the knockout with a critical hit. That critical hit probably did matter. Maybe if it was 4 HP it wouldn't survive, but I think it would have. Knock off onto the Thundurus, doing a good amount of damage. Getting rid of a Citrus Berry. Interesting, nasty plot with Citrus Berry. Usually you see a different item. You usually see Life Orb, but he has Taunt as well, so most likely he does not carry the Thunder Wave, which is an interesting option. He's probably going to fake out one of my Pokemon and attack with the other. I would say he would fake out the Scrafty and Thunderbolt the Rotom. But Rotom should be able to live a +2 Thunderbolt since we're really bulky. So I think I'm going to Thunder Wave the Kangaskhan and just knock off the Thunderous again. He's actually just going to double attack. Thunderbolt going to go into the Scrafty, doing a heck of a lot. Return onto the Rotom Wash. We should live with our Citrus Berry. Wow, that Kangaskhan isn't that offensive. That really did nothing. As, yeah, Rotom going to take not that much damage as I thought. Thunder Wave going to happen onto the Kangaskhan. Going to take it to the point where it's going to be super slow. Knock off onto the Thunderous. This should pick up the knockout. Yes, it is. And we are at a 4-2 lead. We got Intimidate options. Scrafty's Taunt wears off, but we don't have any moves that could be used. My Milotic's going to come out. Ooh, this is actually going to make the game kind of interesting. But I think I'll just Drain Punch the Kangaskhan, and I'll protect Rotom. You see that he's not doing damage with his Kangaskhan, so I'm really not scared of his Kangaskhan. But if I can get my Milotic against my entire team, he can't recover stall, and Kangaskhan could get Power Punch boost, so I'm going to target the Kangaskhan. Protecting the Rotom Wash. We're going to see Scald into the Rotom. I was thinking Scald into the Scrafty, but that works as well. The Drain Punch is going to do over 50% to the Kangaskhan, putting in Hydro Pump range. We're going to heal back quite a bit, and Kangaskhan's going to be paralyzed. Unfortunate, but I don't think it really mattered that much. As here, I think I'm going to go for the Super Fang into the Milotic, and I think I'll go for the Hydro Pump into the Kangaskhan. Just because... Oh, he's going to try to Sucker Punch the Rotom. Wouldn't have done much damage anyway. Hydro Pump's going to connect with the Kangaskhan. That should take it out at this range. Oh, wow, it doesn't. But Scald into probably the Scrafty slot, I would assume. Yep, the Scrafty. Not doing much. The reason I went for that play is because I thought that Scald would go into the Scrafty slot and he might have burned. We actually reveal Rocky Helmet on the Milotic, which is fine, actually, since I'm going to Drain Punch the Kangaskhan, since it's going to take it out no matter what. And I'm going to Thunderbolt the Milotic. Just for that good damage. Milotic's going to protect, which is fine. Which is fine because he's going to Sucker Punch the Rotom Wash. That's not going to knock us out. Yeah. He needed a critical hit in order. But that Sucker Punch, did that do more than a return, or is it just my imagination? We do get the Drain Punch off onto the Kangaskhan. That's going to pick up the knockout and heal a little bit to Scrafty, healing 6 HP. And now we should be able to knock out Milotic with a single Thunderbolt. And we're going to knock off and Thunderbolt. There's no way my opponent can win. He's probably going to forfeit. There's the forfeit. And quite an interesting team. We saw that Hydro Pump crit definitely was unfortunate. The paralysis was important, but really I think I just made the plays and was able to outpredict my opponent. That turn where you just Thunderbolted to Scrafty and returned the Rotom Wash, he probably should have double targeted one of my Pokemon because basically he didn't KO any of my Pokemon and just sacrificed his own Pokemon. But anyway, we're going to find the second battle, and let's see if we can get another good match. Okay, Laho from Germany with an 1846 rating will be our second opponent of the day. He is actually someone I know and have played against, and he's a very solid player. He did make he is a current Worlds qualifier. He's actually going to be competing at the Pokemon World Championship. He's got his paid invite in Europe, so this should be a good match. We got Gardevoir, Landorus, Fairy, Heatran, Amoonguss, Rotom Wash, and Hydreigon. So we actually have 5 out of the 6 same Pokemon, except he has opted to bring Hydreigon. Of course, I'm not running Trick Room, so this should be interesting. Wait, are we bringing 5 out of the 6? Yes, I opted for Scrafty, he opted for Hydreigon. Okay, so I think my Gardevoir does extremely well against his team. I'm thinking Gardevoir and Landorus as a lead. I really do like that lead. I have to be wary of the Amoonguss, though. Amoonguss is going to be an annoying issue. Do I bring Rotom Wash? Rotom Wash could be decent, but I don't think it's the right call. I think I'm definitely going to bring Heatran, though, because I need it for his Gardevoir, Amoonguss, and his own Heatran. I doubt he's running max speed Heatran like I am. And I think I'll bring Amoonguss, just because Amoonguss with Spore is just so valuable. If he has Trick Room, I can send out Amoonguss and start sporing everything, except probably his Heatran, if he decides to bring it. I think he would bring Heatran in this matchup. Well, My team's actually pretty good against it, but we'll see. Gardevoir and Rotom Wash will lead against my Gardevoir and Rotom Wash. I mean Gardevoir and Landorus. So, alrighty, this actually isn't a bad lead. This really isn't such a bad lead. We get intimidated off, which is kind of worthless. He's gonna trace my telepathy, which is fine. I think I'm gonna straight Mega Evolve, go for the Calm Mind right away. And I do want to just U-turn. Yeah, I kind of just want to straight U-turn the Rotom Wash. I really can't see anything he do. He might Hydro Pump, he might Protect with the Rotom Wash, he might Will-Wisp the Landorus slot, which is probably his best play. But I need Landorus for safety later, because Landorus can one-shot the Hydreigon, it can one-shot the Heatran, and those two Pokemon I really need to take care of if I'm going to have Gardevoir to sweep. Well, not the Hydreigon, but definitely I have to get rid of the Heatran. He is going to Mega Evolve with Gardevoir. He's actually faster than our Gardevoir. That's kind of scary, because I think I'm the one who's supposed to be running the fast Gardevoir here. So he's probably running quite a bit of speed investment. Let's see. We do get a U-turn off onto the Rotom Wash. That's going to do decent damage. That did a lot of damage, but I forgot we're Choice Banded, and now he probably does know I am Choice Banded. I'm going to bring out Amoonguss because he might Hydro Pump that slot, and Will-Wisp wouldn't affect me anyway. As Rotom actually going for the Electro Web, Gardevoir avoids it, which is nice, but I mean, Electro Web. It's not Choice Scarf. That's an interesting form of speed control. We're going to get Calm Mind up. Do we Speed Tie? Do we Speed Tie? That is the question. I think we do. And he's actually going to Psychic the Amoonguss slot, predicting the switch out. That's going to bring us down to 3 HP. Great prediction by my opponent. However, it's not paying off for him right now. I'm going to go for that Hyper Voice. I'm going to switch out Amoonguss? I think I switch out Amoonguss. Switch out Amoonguss into Heatran? Yeah, I switch out into Heatran. I need Amoonguss for Regenerator health later. And Hyper Voice should knock out the Rotom Wash. But we'll see. He might have Imprison, which would be cool. We're going to bring out Heatran. Yeah, we Speed Tie. Hyper Voice is going to come out. Not do much, because we are Mega Gardevoir. We're going to get a Hyper Voice off. This is going to knock out the Rotom Wash. No problem. And that Gardevoir was low. That is not a bulky Gardevoir. Let's see who he brings out next. I would guess the Landorus would be coming out. There's the Landorus. And well, he can't really Earthquake. Am I dumb enough to go for a Hyper Voice Heat Wave because he cannot he can Earthquake. He might also just Superpower, I could see that. I'm going to Hyper Voice here. I'm going to actually switch out Heatran into the Landorus, get my Intimidate off, because getting this Intimidate off will be huge. He's actually going to pull a double switch out the Landorus variant, go into his own Heatran. I don't know about this for my opponent, because this is going to be an interesting position after this turn. I mean, we're going to get our Landorus in, get an Intimidate off, which doesn't matter. Let's see what the Gardevoir is going for. Probably a Hyper Voice again. It is another Hyper Voice. He's going to win another Speed Tie. That Hyper Voice is going to bring us lower than I would like. Hyper Voice is going to come through, knock out this Gardevoir. Goodbye, Gardevoir. And we're in a pretty ugly position, actually. Landorus is going to come back out, get another Intimidate off. Man, this is actually uglier, because if that Heatran has Substitute, it can go for it freely. But I think I'm going to protect Gardevoir, and I'm going to switch out Landorus. I don't need Amoonguss anymore, so I think I'm just going to sack off the Amoonguss. Amoonguss really isn't helpful in this game anymore. I probably shouldn't have brought Amoonguss now. Well, actually it was helpful. It took up that Electro up, but then again it took Psychic damage. Bring out the Amoonguss. We're going to protect Gardevoir. Let's see what he goes for. If he goes for Substitute, that is his best play. He's going to go for that Rock Slide, lock himself into that Rock Slide. That's gonna hurt. That's gonna hurt. Yep. And actually, it's gonna be the Earth Power into our Moonga slot, which he predicted the Heatran to come out, which is a great play on his part, but I wasn't gonna let him get a Heatran for free. So I think I'm gonna send out my Landers, get an Intimidate off against his own Landers and the Heatran. And I think I'm gonna Hyper Voice. Just Hyper Voice, and his Heatran probably knows I'm banded. He knows I probably will have to go for that superpower. So I'm actually gonna pull a double switch. And switch out my Landers, go into my own Heatran. Let's see if Heatran protects or not. I think Sub is his best play. Or maybe he has to risk for that flinch. He is gonna go for that Rock Slide. Gardevoir avoids the attack, which is helpful because that guarantees me the Hyper Voice. Heatran taking damage. Here's the Hyper Voice. Gonna do a good amount of damage. Almost knock out the Landers. Critical hit on Heatran. And the Earth Power into the Gardevoir slot. It's not gonna pick up the knockout, but I mean, I guess. As I'm gonna Hyper Voice. And I think I'm gonna protect Heatran. Yeah, I don't think he has anything else. Just gonna protect Heatran so I can get my Landers in for free. The Rock Slide's gonna be coming out. That's going to hurt our Gardevoir. And let's see. Let's see. What is going to happen? Is he setting up a substitute? No, he's going for the Earth Power. Perfect. We can send out our Landers. His Landers at -2. He's not going to get us. We do get a second Intimidate off onto that Landers, which is huge. Which is huge. We're going to Rock Slide. And we're going to Earth Power. But his Heatran will probably protect now. Actually, no. I'm going to Flash Cannon the Lander slot. He's not going to protect, but I mean, if Landers flinches, a critical hit on Heatran. We don't flinch. Rock Slide's going to come out onto this Heatran. Yeah, that was going to knock it out a single target. That was what I was hoping for. I had to knock out Landers in case he flinched me. He does flinch. His Heatran flinches. Oh my goodness. But we are going to take a win as long as we don't miss a Rock Slide. Actually, we win no matter what. Because, yeah, he's going to be forced to forfeit there. And we are going to take this game against Laho, who is one of Germany's best players. So that is amazing. What a great game. That double into the Landers was beautiful. But unfortunately, I had the game plan worked out. And he was just so bold with his Heatran. So bold with his Heatran. But, yeah, oh man. What can I say about that game? That game was fantastic. I'm guessing he had the safety goggles Heatran with Heat Wave, Earth Power, Flash Cannon, Protect. I feel like if he had Substitute, he would have gone for it because he had so many opportunities to set up Substitute, so I doubt he had it. And of course, Fairies are quite rising like Mega Gardevoir, so Flash Cannon is a decent move on Heatran now. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this VGC episode. If you guys do like it, please leave a like to support the series. Check out my other stuff down below. You can check out my blog for VGC content. You can follow me on Twitter for more updates, and follow me on Twitch for live streams, which I am doing more of as of lately, so definitely check that out. I'll see you guys next time.